Big 12 Football Media Days here at the Star in Frisco. Day one of this two-day event, talking with Iowa State quarterback Rocco Becht. He's Ari Timken. I'm James Westling. Man, what a year you guys had last year. And you know, individually, your first year as the full-time starter, the guy from start to finish. You know, how would you summarize what you guys did last year and just, I wouldn't say you caught everybody by surprise. I mean, you guys were still preseason picked towards the top of the conference, but what did last year do for this program and you as a quarterback?
Yeah, I think what helped us a lot was going through each game play by play, not really looking to the future and who we were going to play. I think, you know, understanding who we had to prepare for, the differences that, you know, it would have made. And I think last season it really motivated us to start off with that 7-0, you know, record to begin the season, and then, you know, that adversity hit midway, and I think that was good for us. I think we needed that to, you know, get to where we were at the end of the year. But yeah, losing that Big 12 championship as well, that was motivation to finish the season off right at that Pop-Tarts Bowl. But I think we actually had a team meeting not too long ago where Coach Campbell was talking to us about, you know, last season felt like a success, but it really didn't feel like we ended it on the good note. And I think that's, you know, like winning the Big 12 championship is what our goal was, and I think coming back this next season is, you know, our goal again and what we expect to do.
One of the things that stands out about your game is your ability to escape pressure. 16 sacks in 14 games. I mean, you had a good offensive line, but so much of that is you making decisions. Is that a sixth sense? I mean, what is that? You just have a feel for the game, having been around it? To me, that's one of your best qualities, is the ability to avoid sacks.
Yeah, I think it's reps. Reps in practice. You know, we have a great D-line with Dominique Orange here, and I think having those reps in practice and then translating it to the game is helpful. And then again, like,
you just don't want to get hit by Dom, is what it is.
Yeah, no, he's not he's a big guy, so I don't want him to land on me. No, but I mean, you know, into the season, like throwing the ball away, not taking the sacks when needed. I think knowing the situation of the game and where you at on the field is huge, and obviously that, you know, depletes your completion percentage. But at the end of the day, I'm trying to win the game for the team.
Man, your coach, Matt Campbell, told us a fascinating story about how they were recruiting like 4 other quarterbacks when you came in, and they got your tape somehow, and it was your junior season of high school. And they went and they watched that tape, and then they pulled Brock Purdy's junior year of high school tape, and they were like, okay, this is our guy. We've got a 5th quarterback that's in the conversation, and they went after you hard. So do you see any of his game in your game, and are you two connected? You know, how often do you talk with the now NFL Super Bowl quarterback?
For sure. I mean, I think the reason why they liked me so much is because we have similar statures. You know, me and Brock are kind of the same size, and, you know, he comes back once in a while, and sometimes I feel like I'm a little bit bigger, but you know, I think I model my game after him a lot, and I think that's one of the reasons why I picked here, is because the way they used him in the offense, the way they developed around him is the same reason why I'm here, is why they're developing around me the same as him. And again, he talks to me he texts me sometimes during the season after a big game, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Just to hear from him because of what he's been able to do at Iowa State and really in the NFL as well, in such a short time. And so I'm blessed to be in the position I am and have those connections with Brock. And you know, hopefully he can, you know, when he comes back, we can get a training session in.
Rocco Becht, really good quarterback, even better person. So you donated Xbox consoles to pediatric rooms at the Mary Greenlee Medical Center in Ames in April. You hosted a free youth football camp in Ankeny. I think you've done that every year. You've been at Iowa State. I mean, that's just a list of 2 things you've done recently. Every year we're hearing about new things you're doing for communities, and not even, you know, Florida community. You know, you grew up in communities in Iowa now that you're in. Where does that come from? And I mean, it's incredible to watch and see.
I think that comes from my parents, the way that they were able to, you know, raise me as a person, the way I grew up around, you know, great people, a great household, and just what they've been able to instill in me in the past, you know, 21 years of my life, is why I'm able to do what I am today. And honestly, like you said, like giving back to the community, that's the biggest thing that I want to do, is be a better person off the field than I was on the field. And that's what Coach Campbell preaches all the time to us, is figuring out a way to be more liked off the field than you were on the field.
And you got your offensive lineman coolers?
Yeah. That was, I got them Yeti or Ninja coolers, and then some Carhartt stuff at the end of the season last year. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That is sweet. All right, how much better does the Iowa State defense make you as a quarterback when you've got to see those lockdown corners and Dom and everybody else on a daily basis in practice?
Man, I'll tell you what's hard about it is the 3-3-5. Going up against that every single day is pretty tough and honestly annoying. 7-on-7, it's 8 versus 5. So, offense, you're kind of just throwing a check down because you can never get anything down the field. So it is a great challenge to go up against, and it's honestly great for us because we've been able to go up against it for the past, 5 years. And now everybody else wants to, tag along and do the 3-3-5 as well. And so I think we have the most experience going up against that defense, which is why we win those games against those teams that have been able to adjust to that 3-3-5s because we have so much experience going against it.
You got 167 catches walking out the door in the NFL right now. So what does that do for you? Is more on you now?
Honestly, I would say yes. I want that on me. I want the expectations to be high. I want the standard to be set high. But I think it's going to be good for me to be like last year. Those two guys, we wanted to get them the ball.
Yeah.
So the plays were developed to get them the ball. And I think this year it's going to open up my eyes even more. Progressing through the full read, knowing that I've got talent at each position and not just a singular guy that we want to go to. I think that's really going to help my game out and spreading the ball around and really. Which could help my completion percentage as well, is getting those completions, the easy completions, and not just looking for, one or two guys.
Those two guys that came in at receiver came in like pretty early on, especially Xavier Townsend, if I remember right. He was like one of the first big names that made a commitment. So how much time have you been able to spend with those guys, and how's the chemistry coming along?
Man, I think them coming early in the spring was huge for us to get those reps like you just talked about, getting them early in the spring ball and the winter workouts, or now in the summer when the coaches aren't there and just going out there and throwing, getting the timing right, and being in the film room as well, understanding each other's thoughts and processes of what we're thinking on each play against the defense. I think that's going to be huge for us, and that's why we needed to go get those reps. And what's funny is Xavier was actually committed to Iowa State verbally my class in 2022. And,
out of high school?
Yeah, out of high school. And he ended up switching on signing day to go to UCF and stay closer to home. But so I've been trying to get him to Iowa State for the past 2 years now, and finally he's made that decision to come.
What's the most important lesson your dad's taught you, or most important thing you've learned from your dad?
Yeah, I think my dad, I'm blessed to have him at every game of mine, and I think him and my mom. But one thing that he helps me out a lot with is self-talk and self-motivation. Sometimes as a quarterback, it's pretty hard to stay mentally focused all the time, mentally poised. Whether that's going up against a great team one week, or really whatever you're going through, it's pretty tough. So I think him being in my corner, being able to talk to him and see what he has to say about myself, and he's a great guy. He always preaches me. He always tells me that I'm doing great, and I think that's just what somebody needs to be able to find their confidence again.
All right, Rocco, time for the hard-hitting questions. Okay, you mentioned your offensive line. If you had to cook for the entire Iowa State offensive line, what are you making?
Man, I'm not that great of a cook.
I was going to say, do you cook?
Not really.
Then what do you grab and take out?
Man, grabbing takeout, I like they like steaks a lot, so I'll go to Fleming's and get takeout. It's
Nice.
a steakhouse.
Oh, yeah.
I'll make it nice for them. So yeah, I'll get Fleming's.
You like steak?
I like steak a lot. Yeah.
How do you take your steak?
Medium.
Medium. Okay.
Yeah.
Not
Anybody
medium
that
rare
goes,
yet?
No. Anybody? I was just about to say. Anybody that goes on the rare side, I don't know what to tell you.
It's the way to eat the steak,
Man,
Rocco.
getting them steak. This is a guy that respects and appreciates his offensive line.
Yeah.
If you're getting
that's
steak
a good call.
for
That's
that
obvious.
meal.
All right.
I got to.
I watched Brock Purdy at Iowa State. This doesn't say anything about his NFL career, but you're a better quarterback at Iowa State than Brock Purdy was. So good luck this year, man.
I
And
appreciate
go
that.
get him.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Rocco. Rocco Becht, Iowa State quarterback, Big 12 today on Big 12 Radio, exclusively on TuneIn.